Welcome to episode 4, part 1 of Project Eunoia. Before you proceed, please know that in this episode we might talk about topics such as anxiety, depression, and other mental health issues. Please make sure that you're in the right frame of mind before listening. Otherwise, please enjoy our podcast. Good day, everyone. Good morning, good evening. Thank you for tuning in to Project Eunoia. This is Abby once again, and I'm very excited about our episode today. I've invited some of my friends to talk about something that's really very timely for a lot of you out there. Before we go through our chikahan session, I would like to introduce my guests. Actually, I will not introduce them. They will introduce themselves. So we'll go around the room, and then I will ask each of the guests to just introduce themselves, what they do, and a little bit about themselves. That's something that's quirky or weird or unique. Okay, so let's start with Doc Pearl.
Hi everyone. I'm Pearl. I'm a doctor. I'm undergoing residency in Cebu, in one of the hospitals in Cebu. And something weird or unique about me is that ako po yung secret girlfriend ni Ja. Ay, char!
Uy!
Baka dumugin yung last episode na to.
Okay lang yan, maraming mako-curious sa episode natin.
Controversial.
Actually, ako yung long lost twin ni Pablo.
Sinasabi ko na nga.
Ayan, si Doc
Go,
Pearl.
Pearl.
Oh, next. Sige, si Mitch naman.
Hi, I'm Mitch, and I'm an ESL teacher. Something weird. I love doing song covers on YouTube. Yan.
May YouTube channel ka ba? I-plug mo na.
Wow.
Hindi, nagkakalat lang po ako sa Twitter talaga minsan, pero shy type. Walang nakakaalam ng YouTube channel ko.
Sige, pag ready na siya, yan, share ni Mitch.
Thank you.
Okay. O next naman si Cha. Siyempre pang huli yung natin. Yung mayora
Yung robot.
natin. So,
Yung mayora natin.
si teacher muna. Teacher.
Good evening, good day to everyone. I'm Cha. I'm a kindergarten teacher and I'm currently taking my master's.
Wow.
And pahinga muna. Something weird. Kung si Mitch nagkakalat sa YouTube, ako nagkakalat sa TikTok.
Wow.
TikTokers.
TikTokerist.
yan. Cha, yung masters mo, how far along are you with your
Isang sem, tapos thesis writing na.
Malapit na,
Wow.
konti na
Wow.
lang. Yan.
Pero tambay ako ng Twitter, gano'n. Parang hindi ako nagtatrabaho,
Same.
nag-aaral.
Ilang yan, balanse lang dapat.
Yes, balance.
Okay, next naman,
Thank
syempre,
you.
hindi mawawala ang ating mayora, si Miss Chris Lani. Go ahead.
Hi, good evening, good morning, good day. I am Chris. I am a communication graduate and wala namang weird sa akin eh. Yung may weird pala something about me. Hindi ako kumakain ng gabi.
Ay,
Gabi.
Gabi.
Yeah.
Umaga lang kinakain mo.
Wow. Wow,
Si
Pearl.
Doc Pearl may entry.
Girlfriend ka nga ni Ja.
Ja will be proud.
Yes. Taga-maisan. Ayun, salamat po, Mayora. Ay, anong ginagawa mo ngayon?
Ay, oo nga, no.
What are you busy with these days? Anong ganap mo naman?
Currently, I am not working on a corporate setting kasi I quit my job 2 years ago so that I can settle down here sa province namin. Settle down with myself, not with anyone. And yun lang, I'm serving in our church full time. So yun yung ginagawa ko. Aside from being dakilang tambay sa Twitter. Yeah. Yun lang.
Ayun. So, parang very well represented. Merong sa academe, merong sa healthcare, meron sa may ministry. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, ako naman, syempre, kilala niyo naman ako. So, I'm an HR practitioner. And, ano bang weird sa akin? Weird. I focus too much on the small things. Parang, Yun, like,
Mm.
'di ba? Grammar.
Mm.
Minsan parang,
Small
bakit
thing.
yun? Sa lahat naman ng pwede mong, ano, 'di ba? Pwede mong mapansin yun, 'di ba? So, minsan may ganun lang ako. I think nakikita nyo naman yan. So, yun lang naman ang weird sa akin. Ang labo. Anyway. Yun. Yeah. So, thank you for joining me, ladies, in this episode of Project Eunoia. And sabi ko nga, yung topic natin is very timely and anticipated by a lot of our friends out there. And ang ating topic for today is the quarter life crisis and the value of finding one's purpose. But I think our focus would really be discussing about the quarter life crisis. Okay, so let's talk about the quarter life crisis. Ano bang meron dito sa phenomenon na ito at bakit napakaraming tao ang interesado na pag-usapan si the quarter life crisis. Okay. So, syempre, I did a little bit of research. Napansin ko lang, the past siguro 5 years, walang masyadong recent na mga articles or studies about the quarter life crisis. So the latest study that I've seen was done between 2011 to 2015. Pero yung pinaka-remarkable out of these studies was done 2011. And this was done in the United Kingdom. So what they did was they interviewed over 1,000 people between the age of 25 to 35. So this was done by Dr. Oliver Robinson in the University of Greenwich in London. So siguro naman trustworthy itong data na to. And it was published in an online newspaper called The Guardian in the UK. And it says here in the study that 86% of the people they interviewed admitted that they are feeling under pressure to succeed in their relationships, finances, and jobs. Okay, so ito yung mga between 25 to 35. And then sabi dun sa study, dun sa results, 2 out of 5 of these individuals were worried about money and saying that they don't earn enough. So money is one issue. 32% felt under pressure to marry and have children by the age of 30. 32%, so malaking percentage ito. 6% were looking to relocate or emigrate to a different country. And then 21% wanted a career change. A complete career change. So yun yung sabi dun sa article. Ito, yung pinag-aralan nila, yung in-interview nila ng mga individuals. Sabi doon, by definition, because of the results of the survey, they were defined to be going through. So 86% of them were going through the quarter life crisis. And it's defined as a period of uncertainty and questioning that typically occurs when people feel trapped, uninspired, and disillusioned during their mid-20s and early 30s. Okay, so very specific yung yung age, mid-20s to early 30s. It's also associated with feeling of not achieving their full potential. So siguro kaya may mga tao doon na nagsabi they wanted to change their careers. And they also have they reported feeling that they are falling behind their peers. So yung mga kabatch nila, feeling nila naiiwanan na sila. So siguro dito na rin yung results about feeling pressure to marry, to have children, because the people around them, their peers, are already having families. Yan. So yun yung I think yung mga relevant na data na nakita ko. Unfortunately, we don't have studies like this in the Philippines. we siguro na yun sa Pilipinas, yung social data, wala talaga tayo masyadong maraming studies and research related to things like this. That's why I have you guys to sort of in a way validate. So kung nangyayari ba talaga ang quarter life crisis? Meron ba talagang ganito? And after talking about or after sharing the research done by Dr. Oliver, I want to ask every single one of you, kamusta kayo? Ano naman yung naging experience nyo related kay quarter life crisis? So did you experience the same? Based on sa definition natin ng quarter life crisis or QLC, sabihin na lang natin QLC para madali. So have you experienced the same feelings and troubles or challenges? Kasi parang this age group is around that age group between 25 to 35, di ba? So I wanna go through the room and ask you guys, ano yung experience nyo related sa QLC and what was it like for you?
From my end or from my experience, kasi I'm 31 and feeling ko dumating ako sa ganon, and I think it's like a feeling of parang it's so depressing, but I don't know if it's the right term, pero parang you feel worthless and wala kang value or useless, tas nakakababa ng tingin sa sarili mo. Parang ganon siya. It feels like you're not satisfied with what you're doing, and you keep on looking for something that will really satisfy you. Ganun yung sa.
Is this something that you still feel right now, or nakalampas ka na dun sa stage na gano'n?
Parang nakalampas na ako eh. Hindi ko na siya masyadong naisip. Parang na-enjoy ko na ngayon na yung buhay ko.
This started, so yung feeling na gano'n, after you, as you mentioned earlier, you quit your job. So was that after or even before you left your job in the city?
Nakapas na sa parang yung overthinking
extreme
about those things.
Mm-hmm.
Extreme. But let's be honest naman, bumabalik siya. But not really that, yung mga age na,
not the same intensity.
26 to 20. Yes. Parang ganon. Bumabalik siya, pero mas marunong ko na paano talaga.
So you don't you don't dwell on it too much. Hindi mo na siya masyadong parang iniisip, gano'n.
Kasi yung nangyari, like for example, bakit siya bumabalik? Kasi like for example, I really want something, tapos I can't have it now, unlike before na pwede ko siyang makuha agad kasi nga may resources ako. However, pinili ko kasi ito na life eh. Because I really want this. I feel like it will satisfy me. So, parang may kapalit lahat yun. Kaya minsan bumabalik syempre tao lang.
Mm-hmm.
So, parang ganun.
Yung lalo na if you earn for yourself, you have something to spend, diba? Pag may mga gusto kang bilhin, diba? Hindi naman mawawala yun. So, yeah. So it's still there. Pero yung tanong ko kanina, I mean, was it triggered when you left your job? Or even before you left your job, nandun na yung ganung feeling?
Minsan feeling ko at Abby, misconception ng tao. People will see you successful and parang nakikita ka nila you're in the peak of your career if you're working, but they don't know. Kahit nga nung nag-work ako, may ganun naman ako na feeling eh.
Mm-hmm.
Na parang I don't like this job. Parang hindi to para sa akin. Hindi ko i-imagine mo nga yung parang i-imagine mo yung ginawa kang tagabantay ng mga nasa store. Tapos ang gusto mo naman magsalita. Yung gano'n.
Mm-hmm.
So parang hindi nila alam. People would not know. But deep inside you, may mga ganun ka kasi na feeling. Kahit nga nung nag-work ako.
So even before you left your job in the city, may ganun na. Nag-start na yung ganung feeling.
Mm-mm.
Okay. O sige, si Cha naman.
Nung binigay ni Ate Abby yung topic natin, nag-research ako ng konti para malaman ko kung doon nakakategorize ko siya doon sa quarter life crisis, yung mga feelings, ganyan. Tapos may nakita ako na why don't I have what I want? So, yung parang yung struggle ko right now. Kasi parang yung surrounded ka with people na successful. Yung minsan nga, hindi lang kasing edad. Minsan nga mas bata pa. Yung parang, syempre, comparison, ganyan. So, ayun, sa financial status, sa work, hindi masyado kasi confident naman ako sa work ko kasi gusto ko naman siya. Hindi ko naman nakikita yung sarili ko na iba yung ginagawa ko. Yun. So, siguro, more on finances. Kasi youngest ako. So, ako na lang mag-isa yung naiiwan sa family, sa kasama ng parents ko. So, medyo, hindi naman burden, pero parang, yun sa akin, medyo mabigat kasi parang ako lahat, something ganyan. Pero, ayun, wala kang parang kasama. So, bukod sa finances, siguro travel, feeling ko, nade-deprive ako sa recreation.
Pero hindi naman dahil sa quarantine yan.
Hindi sa quarantine kasi meron akong guilt feeling na hindi pa nga tapos yung hindi mo pa nga na-achieve yung bahay na maayos, yung ganyan, yung savings na parang goal mo. Parang nag-guilty ako, gagala ka, hindi ka pa naman ganun ka-stable, parang ganun. So yun yung ko, parang deprived sa recreation. Bakit yung iba, kaya naman nila pagsabayin. So yun yung mga pinagdadaanan ko. Tapos dahil ECQ or quarantine, parang mas ko siya, mas na-feel ko siya. Sobra akong nag-dwell dun sa feeling na, sila ganito, ganyan.
So kahit na,
Ayun.
I mean, in a way, pare-pareho yung naging situation nyo. Kasi lahat naman tayo under quarantine. So you still felt that. And it stems from you comparing yourself to like your friends, ganon.
Yes.
Your peers. We'll process that later, no? Pero I think in a way, we can define it as part of the quarter life crisis. I think, sabi mo nga, hindi naman yun dun sa profession mo or kung ano yung ginagawa mo ngayon. Wala kang problem. So you're happy being a teacher. Okay.
Yes.
So it's really more yung status sa buhay, yung parang kung anong meron ka, like material things and experiences. Sige, si Mitch naman.
So yung sa akin naman, I think medyo start kasi siya, college pa lang kasi ako, hindi na aligned yung gustong course ng parents ko dun sa kinuha kong course or dun sa course na gusto ko. Actually, ang frustration ko is mag-take ng psychology as a major ng college. However, my parents didn't see me fit dun sa magiging role. Parang mahina yung tingin kasi nila sa akin, which I later on find out na okay, meron namang meron namang reason behind it. Parang college pa lang nandun ako sa ganong state na parang magulo lahat or hindi nag-align. Actually, ka-course ko si Pablo. So, my parents wanted me to take sana education to fulfill their dream back then. But I chose a course na in between, something that I want and yung sa kanila. Hindi ako nag-education. Pero yun, later on, what happened was I chose a career. Hindi siya teaching talaga in school, but I taught online and I found out na I enjoyed it. And hindi ko na nakita na parang kukuha talaga ako ng psychology. As in, babalikan ko siya kung ganun. Pero nandun pa rin yung part sa akin na parang gusto ko kumuha ng mga short course. Like, na-happy nga ako dun sa first episode kasi I heard na you wanted to be a strength coach. And yes, may mga nakasama na rin po ako before na strength coach sila talaga. Sobrang exposed ako sa iba't ibang field. And dumating sa point na ano ba talaga yung gagawin ko? Parang, ano ba talaga yung ipupursue ko? Kasi parang iba yung gusto ng parents ko, iba yung current na ginagawa ko, and then parang promising din itong isang course. And nakarelate din po ako kay Ate Chris po kanina. Kasi sabi niya na parang bumabalik-balik naman talaga yung ganong feeling. This 2020, kasi may time na ay parang gusto ko na rin i-pursue talaga yung yung coaching, ganyan. Then come 2020, ay joke lang pala. Parang hindi ko pala kaya tumulong ng ibang tao kung ako down na down din ako. Yan. Confused which career to pursue, ganyan. Right now, I think I'm better in such a way na better ako noong 2020. Hindi na ganun kalala yung feeling na parang wala talagang na-achieve. So ngayon, I learned I learned how to maximize or to play kung ano yung mga strengths ko. Kasi nag-explore din talaga ako before. I went into academe. I tried to be a teacher like Ate Cha. However, I realized na yung mga strengths ko pala, magiging weakness pala siya kapag sa actual physical school ako nagturo. Talent ko yung empathy. Pero if you put me in a class of 45 students at mararamdaman ko lahat yung energy nila, it drains me like super. So ngayon, mas nakilala ko na yung sarili ko and I know where to start. I'm happy as an ESL teacher for now.
So you went through a phase na you were confused what you wanted to do or ano yung
Yes.
path na pipiliin mo.
Pursue. Yes.
And then
po.
you got to know yourself a little bit better. Like you
Yes,
said na
because
parang I wanted to help others, I want to teach, but not maybe sa isang classroom where I have a lot of students.
yes.
What works is you found na one-on-one. So parang
Yes. I work best with one-on-one.
Okay. I mean, that's a good realization, diba? So, in a way, you're going through a phase na unti-unti mo na kung quarter life crisis yung pag-uusapan, unti-unti ka nang nakakalabas dun sa phase, diba?
May light na dun sa end ng tunnel.
And that's what we want, diba? Minsan, at least kahit glimmer lang, meron tayong makita. And yeah, later on, we'll talk about, kasi apparently may 4 phases pala ang quarter life crisis. May 4 phases siya. So, maybe makikita natin kung nasan tayo doon sa phases na yun. Pero before that, let's hear...
Assessment pala.
Yes. Let's hear Doc Pearl naman. So, ano naman ang kanya? Ito, alam ko maraming pinagdaanan to kasi nag-med school ito eh. So... Ayan, share ka naman ng experience mo.
If you're gonna ask me if I went through quarter life crisis, the answer would be a very big yes. Maybe because I think it would stem also from comparing myself with others, since hindi ko na feel yun when I graduated nursing. Na-feel ko yun when I started siguro first year med school. Whenever I checked social media, I'd scroll and then I'd see the news feed. My batchmates were getting married, they're moving on with their lives, they're getting engaged, they're getting promoted, they're traveling while I'm still in school. I'm still in school. I'm still reading books. I'm still slaving away. Walang tulog, walang hindi maayos yung walang sweldo. I'm still asking for allowance from my parents. It's like I felt stuck. Yung feeling na nasa mid-20s ka na pero wala ka pang napupundar.
Yes.
At that time when I was in med school, I had doubts. At first kasi I was really sure that this is the best. This is my career. This is really my career. I'm really going to slay this and all. Pero nung nag-med ako, na-realize ko na I'm not that strong. I'm not that strong. I'm as human as anyone else. I break down siguro mga once a week nagbe-breakdown. Nagta-time ako. I set a timer and then I break down and then after that sige, my timer because I can't afford to lose. I can't afford to spend time on breaking down and then
schedule.
And then I have to go back to studying. So my timer mga 5 minutes tapos pagkatapos ng 5 minutes, okay, sige, balik aral. So that was my struggle when I was in med school, and it intensified when I was in internship, fourth year med school, when I was in the hospital na legit walang tulog, legit 30 hours duty, legit na walang breakfast, lunch, dinner.
Grabe naman.
Promise. And then candy lang kinakain ko because I was so busy and then I felt like, oh my god, ano pa tong pinasok ko? Why did I never thought that being my road to being a doctor would be this hard. Plus, you see all those things in Facebook, and you're like, oh my god, they're getting married. Oh my god, they're having kids. They have jobs, and then I'm here like, why? Gusto ko na lang maging halaman. So I had those. So yes, I was really in a crisis, and I felt like I should do more. I felt like mas may ginagawa ko sa life ko. I shouldn't just be studying and just doing this. I should be enjoying my life, but I can't because I'm in med school. So I think, yes, ate, I was in a crisis.
Pero I mean, have you like once thought na, maybe this is not worth it, this is too much, I'm gonna quit? Parang may mga ganun
Yes.
ba?
May mga ganun na thoughts. Like, I was thinking, is really the 30 hours duty, is it really worth it? Is it really...
Yeah.
Oh. Wait lang.
Go, Pearl.
Let me gather my thoughts.
Yan, damang-dama namin yung
Damang-dama namin.
quarter life crisis dito.
I had doubts. I wouldn't say that I never had doubts. I had those, especially during fourth year when yun na nga, wala nang kain, wala nang tulog, so it intensified. Plus all those ang dami pang sinasabi ng mga doctors ko, like, oh, you should have done this, like, doc, wait, o diba? So it's not just physically draining, it's emotionally, mentally, and spiritually draining, I'd have to say. I was during those times, there were really bad things that would pop into my head and say, ay, quit na lang kaya ako, should I think I should stop na. But then there are times also, ate, especially during siguro mga dawn when I'm on duty, 2 a.m. when I'm walking around the hospital, and then there's this still small voice that would tell me na, remember why you started. And so I'd go back to that reason, why did I start med school? And so when I'd think back on those reasons why I chose this, because this was really my choice, I was not forced. So when I'd go back to that reason, nafe-feel ko na, oh, kanang, ay, nagbisaya.
Cute.
I feel you.
Okay lang, go.
So yun, I'd say to myself na, you know, I've prayed for this moment.
Yeah.
I really prayed for so many years. I prayed that I'd get through internship, that I'd get through all those hurdles. Grabe yung dinaanan ko first year, second year, third year, tapos magkukwit lang ako ng fourth year. Diba?
Yeah.
So that's why I'd also tell myself na, oh, you're not a quitter. You were not born, you know. You were pushed out from your mother's womb. You fought your way, and then mag-quit ka lang. No, girl, you should fight. So yun.
So may may self-talk na nangyayari. Empowering self-talk talaga.
Yes.
Buti nga po puro
ganyan.
positive self-talk eh.
Because there were times when I had depression and all that. But then siguro I feel like God's really watching over me, because whenever I'd feel down, there would always be people that just out of the blue. There was someone from church who texted me na, I don't know what you're going through, but I just feel like I should pray for you. And I'm like, aww. So ayun, I really feel that this is really my calling, because if it weren't, then I wouldn't be here. If God brings you to it, He will bring you through it, and He did really bring me through it.
Wow.
So faith has a lot to do with, like, you know, pulling through, diba?
Yes.
So ang laking natutulong talaga niya. And I agree dun sa sinabi mo na I wanted to be a doctor. And I know that, like, mentally or intellectually, kaya ko naman siyang gawin. Pero, I didn't have opportunities when I was younger. So, hindi ako nakapag-med. Financially, we're not capable of putting me to med school. So, hindi talaga lahat ng tao nabibigyan ng ganong opportunity. So agree ako doon na kung dinala ka niya dyan sa path na yan, diba, may reason yun.
Yeah.
And kung hindi naman talaga, I mean, I talked about this in the first podcast, in the first episode, na sometimes, diba, nasisimula ka sa isang path. Thinking na this is really what's meant for me, this is really what I need to do or what I want to do, but then in the middle of it you realize na parang nag-iba na yung gusto ko, diba? Parang yung sinabi din ni Mitch na nag-iiba, parang gusto ko din ito eh. Diba? Parang feel ko din to, parang mas mag-flourish ako, mas magaling ako dito sa area na to, and then nag-create ng confusion, ganyan. Like in my case, I really changed careers. So I graduated with a pre-med degree, and then I chose a different kind of job. And then after that, after 7 years, nag-change ulit ako ng career. And then nandito na ako ngayon. So parang ang layo. Pag tinatanong ako ng tao, anong degree mo nung college? Sabi ko, hulaan mo. Diba? So sometimes it's really, like I have friends, for example, I have a friend na, ito din, parang doon naman sa part na nagkaroon ako ng quarter life crisis. Nagkaroon din ako ng friend na, naman siya, HRM graduate. Mas bata siya sa akin that time. I think I was 30. And then he was 27. And he already had his master's degree, graduate siya ng HRM, tapos meron siyang butler, international certification as a butler. Yung parang, they can service like mga prinsipe, ganyan, mga sultan, ganyan. Sa 5-star hotels kasi may ganon. So, by dignitary, they assign you a butler. So, he has that certification. So, very successful siya. And then, syempre, when we met in a company, we were both hired by that company. I was a supervisor kasi I left my job as an operations manager kasi nga nag-shift ako eh. So, went to HR and then supervisor yung level ko. When he was hired, he was already division manager. So, parang department manager, di ba? And then, there was another friend of ours there na doon din namin na-meet na halos ka-age niya din, mas bata sa akin, na division manager na rin. So parang yung feeling na, wait lang, ang babata niyo pa, but yan na yung, andyan na kayo, di ba? Tapos ako, nandito pa rin ako, di ba? And then that time, I already have a child, I have a baby. So, parang alam mo yun, parang you were left behind. Pero tama nga yung sinabi din ni Pearl kanina na, you made a choice, di ba? So, you took a risk, you made a choice, you told yourself na, I feel that this is the path for me, so I'm gonna make this choice. So wala ka namang ibang pwedeng gawin kundi i-follow through yung path na yun, diba? And then, when I have these conversations, kasi naging close din ako sa kanila, nag-share ako sa kanila na, I feel this, parang feeling ko I'm falling behind, tapos kayo, tignan nyo, ang babata nyo pa, tapos kayo, accomplished na kayo, tapos well-traveled pa sila pareho. Like yung isa nakalikot na siya sa Europe, yung isa pabalik-balik siya sa Japan, gano'n. Kasi hospitality ang niya eh, diba? So, tapos dami silang naipon na pera, so they travel. So parang parang I haven't traveled in the last 10 years. So when I met them, so sabi ko, ang dami nyo nang nagawa, ang dami nyo napuntahan, tapos ako nandito pa lang din ako. And then sabi nila, gaga ka ba? Gaga ka ba? Kasi pareho silang Becky. Pero silang Becky. Sabi nila, gaga ka ba? Sabi nilang ganon. You have a child. And we can only dream of having our own children. Sabi nilang ganon. Yang meron ka, sabi niya, hindi namin yan kailanman makukuha. Kasi it's not physically possible for them. I mean, they can adopt eventually. Pero physically, syempre, kung ikaw gusto mo magkaanak, syempre, yung anak mo talaga. Sabi nila sa akin na hindi mo yan, hindi walang katumbas yan. Sabi nilang ganon. And that's when I realized, tama naman. The other person can have that. Like, si Cha, sabi nga niya, yung isa meron na siyang napundar. Ako, nagma-masters pa rin, nag-aaral. Hindi ako makatravel. Siya, nakalibat na siya sa Europe. Diba? Pero ako, nandito lang ako. I'm just supporting my family. Ganyan. Pero, if you think about it, well, Cha
It's
is
good.
towards achieving her master's degree. Not
Mm.
everyone has a master's degree. Diba? So, Mitch has tried a lot of different things. Not everyone has that opportunity to try different things. Some people like die and they've done the same thing their entire life na hindi man sila nag-try ng kahit ano, wala silang opportunity. Maybe because they have like responsibilities for their families, ganyan. So wala silang luxury to shift careers, diba? To explore something else. Kasi they can't afford to. They just have to work. Diba? And then ganun din si kay Chris Lani, kay Chris, diba? Parang yung iba walang luxury na leave my job because I want to find something else. I want to do something else. I want to serve my community or my church. Some people want to do that, but they can do that because they have to work. Diba? Or they haven't accepted yung fact na sometimes you just have to let go. You just have to forget, or stop
Ouch.
thinking about, expectations. Expectations from yourself, from other people, from society, di ba? Parang, okay, sige, meron kayong mga ganyan, pero you know what? I accept it. I'm probably not your ideal, career woman, but I'm gonna
Oh my
accept
God.
that and I'm gonna do my own thing. Diba? It's hard. I mean, that's hard. It's hard to accept that. And then, syempre, si doktor natin na sobrang, I can only imagine what that was like going through sleepless nights, diba? But still, having the strength to go back to the purpose, your why, diba? And that's the most important motivator, knowing your purpose, diba? Understanding why you're doing what you're doing. Kasi when you go back to that, parang everything else is irrelevant. Parang ganun, di ba? Parang, what is tulog? What is kain, di ba?
Kain.
Cheeseburger ka lang, di ba? Doktor ako, ganun. So, yun lang, parang, I think, based on my experience, like personal, and then talking with other people, with the friends that I have, and then, sabi din ng mga kaibigan ko na nakausap ko dati, sabi nila, you know what, your time will come. Sabi nila ganun. Maybe not now, diba? May nauna lang kami ng konti sa'yo, but your time will come. Your moment will come. And then, lagi namin sinasabi yun. So, every time that we talk, and then we meet, and then, pag nagkakukwentuhan kami about our lives, parang laging ganun. Parang, ito na kaya yung moment ko. Minsan, I consult them about job opportunities, ganyan, dati. Tatanungin ko sila, ito na kaya yung moment ko sa palagay mo. Sabihin na, sige, explore mo lang. Ganun. So, we always talk about that until such time na, yun, dumating nga yun, yung moment. So, hindi naman sila mali. And then, I wasn't wrong in believing or being optimistic about it. And I feel that applies to anyone out there. To all of us. Di ba? Yung moment na yun, dadating yun. Di ba? Basta parang kay Doc Pearl, huwag ka lang susuko, di ba? Slay it.
Magpapacheck up pa kami.
Yes. Ang galing nung niya, parang lumabas ka sa nanay mo. Di ba?
Nanay mo.
Iba talaga. Di ba?
Akala ko kasi
From
sabihin
the
niya yung
womb.
parang about yung sa sperm, yung parang ikaw yung
You're the strongest sperm.
Yes, yung gano'n.
Yeah.
You're the product
Birth,
of
you
the
were strong.
Diba?
Ba,
Tapos
hindi ka pa
susukuan
nabuo,
mo
strong
lang.
ka na.
Yeah.
Tama. But I mean, tama yan, di ba? There's a reason why we're here. We're put in
Exactly.
this place, in this earth. Ayun. So, I mean, thank you for sharing all of that. Kasi even if we are from different backgrounds, I think like what we've shared, like what you've shared today, maraming makaka-relate dyan eh. Like,
Ate
feeling na,
Abby, can I share something like recent lang? Parang last year, ngayon ko lang naalala.
sige,
Okay,
go.
go.
I just remember, kasi may shinare si Pearl kasi. Si Pearl. So, parang naalala ko na, like nung sinabi niya, parang I really thought this is what gusto ko talaga to. Talaga yung gustong gawin ko. Na-try ko na yun pala. Naisip ko ngayon. Tapos, I can still remember yung boss ko, sabi niya, bakit ka mag-quit? Mag-change lang tayo ng office. Kasi I'm working in a government. Tapos yung yung sinusuportahan namin, nag-change ng office. Pero isa ako sa dadalhin niya. But then I refuse it. Sabi ko kasi, gusto ko na umuwi sa province. I really thought this is what I really love to do. Uuwi ako dito. Kasi gusto ko nga mag-serve sa church. Yun talaga yun. Gusto ko, palagi ako nasa mga bata, yung mga dinidisciple ko. Tapos, suddenly, last year, di ba, pandemic. So, parang na-strip off lahat. Walang gathering eh. Walang corporate gathering. Oo, yung ganang feeling. Nandito na ako eh, tapos nawala lahat. Ready na ako, tapos nawala pa lahat. Yun pala yun, naalala ko. Mga March yun, April. Last
Kasi
year.
walang service.
Oo, bawal.
Pero ngayon meron na ulit, di ba?
mag-gather.
So nakakapag-serve ka na.
Hindi, oo, pero siya, limited.
Limited.
Pero naalala ko kasi yung feeling ni Perlas dun sa feeling ko last year na parang nag-get na galit ako, dito na ako eh. Tapos wala pala, na-strip off pala lahat. It was so humbling na parang I'm nothing. Hindi naman dahil sa'yo may ibang buhay ng ibang tao. Parang ganon. It was so humbling. Go Perlas, kaya natin yan.
Yeah. Pero I think you found a way, di ba? Kasi you do the online, nagsashare ka sa Twitter, di ba? Like you do the online service and then...
naging creative.
Ang dami nyo ang ganap eh. Ang dami nga, di ba?
Oo nga.
Natuto nga.
Nag-adapt na lang kayo, di ba? Ayun. So I think
So,
maybe that's the reason why you're there. Because somebody needs to do these things, Just to start off to get the ball rolling. Parang gano'n, di ba?
Nagpapaiyak ba to si Ate Abby?
Kaya nga eh.
Kasama ba to?
Nag-ready po ba kayo ng tissue at saka ng tabo?
Bakit may tabo? Hindi, kasi yung next na natin, na part, it's talking about purpose, di ba? Na-open na ni Pearl kanina yung tungkol dun sa, di ba, the why, the big why, the purpose of why we're doing what we're doing. And then siguro, kaya ko din nasabi yung tungkol dun sa'yo, Chris, kasi sometimes, di ba, hindi mo inaasahan na yun talaga yung intention. Parang you had a different intention. You want to do something else in your heart, di ba? Pero, sabi mo nga, you got there, and then things didn't work out. Hindi nangyari yung in-expect mo. Something else happened though. Diba? And maybe, that's the reason why you got there. Diba? Maybe, by the time that you got there, hindi ka pa ready. Pwedeng gano'n, hindi ka pa ready.
Yeah.
Pero ngayon, na nakapag-adjust ka na, diba? Naka-assimilate ka na-accept mo na maybe this is really what I need to do. And then, saka dumating yung opportunity. Diba? So that's, I think, there's really no, talking about purpose kasi, there's really no formula eh. Like, yung kay Pearl, yung profession niya is, talaga, you have to sacrifice. It requires a lot of self-sacrifice. Kung hindi ka talaga built para mag-serve sa mga tao, diba? At mag-care sa welfare ng mga tao, probably you wouldn't want to be a doctor. And you probably won't, parang, like I have a friend na sabi niya, parang year 1 niya sa med school, nakakita siya ng dugo, ayaw na niya. Ayaw na siya. So, kung talagang ang malasakit mo ay malakas, di ba? Kahit isang galong dugo pa yung makita mo, di ba? Because you're driven by something bigger, by something deeper. You wouldn't care. You'd try to conquer it, di ba? Yung fear mo sa dugo. So, let's talk about purpose. So, na-open na siya ni Doc Pearl. Siguro tanongin natin siya, what does it feel like? Pag nakita mo na yung sabi mo, diba, that sabi mo yung describe mo na still small voice, and how does that transform you and drive you?
Ano ate, when I hear that, I feel calm. I feel like what I felt on the first day of med school, na parang nabuhayan ng loob. Siguro the fire was extinguished. At some point in time, the fire was extinguished. But then, when I hear that still small voice, when I hear those encouraging words from friends, I feel that they're fanning the flame. They're fanning the, parang barbecue lang. Sa barbecue na. They're trying to fan the coals. And so,
Pag-ihawan.
unti-unti,
Nai-ignite ulit.
nai-ignite yung fire. So, that's what I feel. It took years for me to realize na this was really for me. Because if I think medicine was not for me, then I think I would have quit already.
Yeah.
And so, I know that this dream was placed in my heart, and that this dream was meant for me, and that these obstacles, these experiences, these difficult experiences were made to mold and strengthen me.
Yeah.
And then
Exactly.
these doubts, there are doubts. There are a lot of doubts. But if it's really for you, no matter how long it takes, the realization of your dreams will find its way to you.
This is the end of part 1. Please watch out for part 2 soon.